Hey guys, welcome to this OpenToonz tutorial. This one is going to be for creating a motion tween, or a motion path. So far I haven't seen any tutorials out there for this, so I'm pretty excited to be the first one to bring it to you guys. So as you all know, when OpenToonz got released, there's zero documentation for it. There's almost no documentation for the software it stems from either, so we're left pretty much on our own. However, I did figure out how to make a motion tween, so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. So when you open up OpenToonz, you can see that you actually can't make any drawings, and if you haven't figured this out, it's because the toolbar is hidden. So all I have to do to unhide the toolbar is go to GUI Show Hide and Toolbar. And then you should probably bring up the tool options bar too, because the tool options bar allows you to change your brush sizes, minimum and maximum diameter, and other parameters for these other tools here. As far as drawing tools go, they're actually pretty nice. I like it a lot so far. The rest of the interface though is confusing. But I'm sure after playing around with it, you guys have probably already figured out that you can create frame-by-frame animation by selecting each frame on a column and playing through it. So it's actually pretty easy to do this. So it's got that going for it. But I haven't seen anything for creating a motion tween, and I'm sure that's something that people really want to know. So first tutorial on this is going to be creating one of those. So why don't we just go into column 1 here and draw a circle. So I'm going to put a little disclaimer here. I have not figured out how to change the center point of the drawing relative to the drawing. Every time I create a motion path, it stems from the center, even if I go into the edit mode and change its center position somewhere else. This other purple dot here doesn't change. I don't know how to change this one because it's the actual pivot point of the object. I tried adding a bone, I tried everything. I actually just don't know how to do it. So if you know how to change the center point of the object, let me know. But for now, I'm just going to have to draw it in the center so that the center point is relative to the object. So hopefully that's not what you have to do, because that would suck for creating rigged characters. Alright, so now that we have our drawing made, we're going to need to go into the schematic view to create a motion path. So we can go up to Windows, Other Windows, Schematic. And as you can see, we have this little node network here. So just a little introduction of this node network. So far it looks pretty simple, nothing super complicated. I think there are only a handful of nodes to choose from. If you right click, all there are peg bar, camera, and motion path, aside from the obvious table that it comes with. I don't think you can create another one of those. But you can see the table is going into the column that we created right here. So to create a motion path, all you have to do is have the column be the last thing you selected, right click, new motion path. And now we have a motion path coming from the column, so it's parented to it. So that's pretty much all you need to do actually to have it ready to be tweened. As you can see, you can move the object. But we have a little bit of a problem here. You can only move it this far. And the reason for this is a motion path, I mean, it's not a free movement like it is in like maybe Flash or Toon Boom, where you can just move it wherever and it will just interpolate there. It actually is on a physical vector, and you need to edit this vector. So to edit this vector, you can click on this right here, the contour edit point tool, and if you see this orange line right here and click on it, now you can see the path. So we can just edit this, and as you can see, it's moving the object. So why don't we just try making a bouncing ball real quick. So this is the start and this is the end right here, and you can actually add more points by holding Control and clicking. And one weird problem that I've been having is that the Bezier handles work really smoothly on one side, but for some reason are really pointy on this side. So I'm not exactly sure why that is, and if anybody knows a solution to that, I'd also like to hear it. So I'm just going to sort of make it look like a sort of bouncing arc, where it goes like this. And that's pretty much it for the motion path. This is where it's going to follow after we make the next couple of steps. So we're going to want to extend the exposure of this quite a bit. Let's go ahead and make it like, let's make it like 12 frames. It's pretty fast, but alright. So as you can see, it's actually not doing anything. We've extended the exposure of the drawing, but it's not doing anything. Because the motion path isn't enough, we have to tell it to follow the motion path. So I guess the cool thing about this is you don't have to follow the whole thing if you don't want to. Maybe it would be helpful to only follow half of it, and then maybe later in the scene you want it to follow the rest of the motion path. So it actually is kind of a cool feature for that. Make sure that you have this position button as the center, and then you can go ahead and on the last frame that you want, just move it along the motion path. And now you can see we have a tween going on. And the cool thing about this is it's doing it to the column, so you can actually, like right here, I can actually go in and hand place some stuff. So that's frame 6. I'm just going to go lower the exposure of this real quick. Down to 5. You have to highlight the whole thing to do that. And then here, we can have a squash. So I can just go in, add more, that's not what I just did this. Oh, yeah. Make sure you have the column selected, not the path, or else you'll edit the motion path. Which actually I think I just discovered that you can draw a motion path yourself if you go into the brush tool and click the path. But I wanted to edit the drawing, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm actually going to show the onion skin real quick so we can get a little bit more accurate. All you have to do to show the onion skin is right click and click activate, or in this case it's showing deactivate. But you can see the ghosting of the previous frames. So on 6, I'm going to go ahead and shrink my brush size a little bit and make it look a little bit more squashed here. And then here I can sort of make it look like it's springing up a little bit. And then here back to round. And then I can extend the exposure of this one up until the end of the motion path. So, would you look at that? Now this is pretty cool. I hand edited a couple of frames here, and now we're continuing. So, not too shabby. I mean, kind of shabby, but you know, you get the idea. So, in software like Toon Boom, I would say I would recommend having every single drawing connected to a peg if you're going to do any transformations on it. I can't really see any advantage in this particular software for having individual drawings connected to pegs. However, real quick, I'm going to show you what a peg can do. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new scene real quick to show that off real quick. New scene. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the schematic. Actually, no, I'm not going to get rid of the schematic view. I'm going to need that real quick. So, like I just did, I'm just going to make a small example real quick. I'm not really going to do anything fancy. I'm going to draw a circle right here on column 1, and I'm going to draw a square right here on column 2. So let's say you want to motion path 2 objects at once. How would you do that? Well, you can connect these to a peg. Now in the schematic view here, you can see that we have now 2 columns coming out from the table. What we can do is add a new peg bar, and as you can see we have a peg coming out of it, we can connect the peg into here. So now we have the table going into a peg, and the peg splitting between column 1 and column 2. Now with the peg selected, we can just do the same exact thing that we did. New motion path, and now we have a motion path coming from the peg. And since the peg is parented to these two columns, when you move the peg on a motion path, just real quick. And as you can see here, like I said, it's coming from the center no matter really what I do, so I just kind of gave up on it. But if you do know how to change the center point, it'd be helpful, because it isn't good to have the center off of where you want the pivot to be. But for this example, I'm going to let it slide. So I'm just going to edit that path real quick and extend both of these frames out to, I don't know, about the same length. And now we can animate this along, whoops, that. You have to have the path selected for this. And, whoops, I didn't keyframe the first one. There we go. So, now we have two objects moving along one motion path. And that is one of the strengths of this node view here. If you haven't used Toon Boom before, it's definitely nice to have a sort of network view like this. And yeah, so far that's all I've discovered. But yeah, keep me posted on things that you really want to know how to do, because I will try to figure some of this out so you guys don't have to pull your hair out. And I want to see what you guys create. But yeah, a couple of things. If anybody knows how to disconnect a, if anyone knows how to disconnect, yeah, sorry about my dog. If anyone knows how to disconnect a wire from a node path, please let me know, because I've tried everything to figure this out. There's not a lot of shortcut keys in this program. Anyway. And also, yeah, the whole pivot thing in the center. If you can find out how to change the center point so that the motion path actually extends from it, I'd also like to hear that. But anyway, that's the end of this tutorial, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.